Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on another one of our segments for our Spotlight on Business series. We are excited to be in this beautiful retail store today. It's in terms of the retail establishments, it's a pretty iconic store with a very long history to it. And it just kind of represents Pagosa Springs as one of our iconic retail establishments. Uh, you pass it probably all the time on your way up and down Putt Hill because we are here in the Made in Colorado shop. So we are here today with I should say, most recent business owner, Jean Haitala. And so we're going to talk to Jean, and she's going to tell us the great story of Made in Colorado. So here we go. You see behind me all sorts of great and unique gifts. And now we're going to switch to Jean, and she too has some great gifts behind her. So Jean, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for yeah, well, we are so excited you allowed us in to record on a great story of Made in Colorado. I know you have not always been the owner, but you have been here a long time. So, and this store hasn't always been kind of made in Colorado. So, for those, that's what we do here. We tell the story. So, can you kind of give us the history of the location and how it transformed into this iconic retail store now?
Well, back in the early 80s, Alan and Lois Higgins had a home furnishing store in this location. And in 1989, Lois decided to start doing it as a gift shop. And June 2nd, 1992, it was Made in Colorado shop officially. And I started working here December of 2005. And I bought it, of all days, April 1st, 2013.
April Fools, you still own it.
I still own it.
So you've been the owner here now almost 20 years. So
No, 12.
12 years.
2013.
Oh, 13. That's right. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so 12 years. And before that, so a gift store over 30 years
Yes,
then.
1992.
Yeah.
So.
Right. So I remember years ago, attending a town council meeting where Lois came and asked for a variance on the Made in Colorado sign because the sign was at the time much larger than it is now.
Yes.
And obviously, whether they were grandfathered, and it was falling apart, so had to get a new sign. But of course, getting a new sign meant you had to fall into the new sign codes. Yes. So can you tell us kind of that story of how you were able to get the sign that you have in front of the store?
Well, for 3 months, we asked every customer what brought them into the store. And they all said the sign. They saw the sign driving by. So Lois went with the ammunition of 3 months of customers saying, you know, we would lose 88% of our customers if they did not see that. So that's a lot of tax money you're going to lose. So they gave her the variance.
Well, that's great.
So we got our lit sign.
So can you tell us a little bit about Made in Colorado? I think everybody thinks every item in the store is a Made in Colorado item. Can you kind of tell us what do you carry and what do you specialize in?
We have a little bit of everything. Our best-selling items are pottery and earrings, of all things.
Nice.
But we try to get as much made in Colorado as we can. Of course, T-shirts are not made in Colorado. And most souvenirs that are made in Colorado are a little bit pricier. So we have some mugs made in China. We have a lot of handmade pottery that's made in Colorado, in Pagosa Springs. Most of our companies, I have about 500 vendors, and I'd say 98% of them are Colorado companies.
Oh,
so
amazing.
It still stays in the state of Colorado.
Now, Jean, you also have I think people forget, you have a section of books and some maps, not all of the maps, but tell us a little bit about the reading or the book portion of the store.
Well, we try to keep anything local, you know, guide maps of the local area. We have a Falcon guide that's all of the Colorado hot springs, and our Pagosa hot springs is on the cover. So I try to keep that up. And Jim White wrote a book about Blanco Basin. We carry that. We have a few like nonfiction local authors. I always try to, you know, support the local authors and stuff. And but a lot of history books of the area and trail guides and that kind of stuff.
And of course, Colorado's known for the state flower, the columbine, and of course, the bird that everybody loves, the hummingbird. So it seems like you carry a lot of that, and it just is a really popular item.
Yes. And we have, well, I don't have the bag, but I do have a.
Oh, here she goes. Okay, come on back. Here we go. Okay, perfect.
Hummingbird and columbine dish towel.
Oh, combined even.
Yes. And we do have a lot of columbines. We do carry a lot of bear and moose items because a lot of women decorate their house with bears and moose and elk. We, you know, try to make it mountainy.
Do you get a request for certain items that maybe you don't carry that you've thought of bringing on, or you've brought into the store because you got so many requests?
Not really. You know, I figure if I've only been asked for it once in 18 years, it's not going to be a good seller.
Okay.
So there are, you know, people ask for pottery and mugs. And so I try to get as many potters that do mugs as possible. And some I talk into making mugs because they don't like to do the handles. But then they find out how many we can sell and they're just like, okay, I will do that.
Yeah. So, you know, Jean, we in our series we've talked about you've been the business is a very seasoned business and has been successful and has stayed in business, obviously because the business owners, not just you, but Lois Higgins before, knew the trends of Pagosa Springs. So we have certainly talked about, as a business owner, what are some of the, you know, you certainly, while I know at Christmas, people just come in here in droves because of your wonderful sale, and a lot of the locals do. But you obviously cater to our visitor component. How do you manage as a business owner those peaks and valleys?
Well, Pagosa is very seasonal. It always has been. And you, as the old saying is, you have to make hay while the sun shines. So in the summer, you sock away the money and you load up on inventory so you don't have to buy anything till next spring, because the winter is sometimes dreadful.
Sure.
You know, if we don't have good snow, the skiers don't come.
Sure.
And so you just have to be real careful on that. That's also kind of a problem because we have a ski area so close. We have to have t-shirts that say Wolf Creek and Pagosa Springs. So we have to buy double. And sometimes that's a challenge because you never know what they're going to want. And, you know, you load up on Wolf Creek and then there's a bad snow year and you're stuck with them.
Yeah. Do you think that learning how to manage the seasonality has been your biggest challenge as a business owner?
Yes. And because when I started working here, I had no idea how seasonal this town was until being here 4 or 5 years and doing the buying and stuff. And sometimes you don't know month to month what's going to happen.
Sure.
You know, the fact that I made it through my first year of business is kind of a miracle because that was the year of the West Fork Complex fire.
Oh.
The flooding in northern Colorado that caused everybody not to come here. the government shut down, so all the national parks in Chimney Rock and Mesa Verde closed early. Then we had the assault rifle ban, so the hunters boycotted and didn't come. And then we had no snow. So I think the ski area that year opened December 8th or something. I keep track of all this, so I know what to kind of plan year to year. And yeah, the fact that I made it through that year is a miracle. I'm still standing.
I think that is a record of issues.
Anything that could have happened
did. Okay, yeah, good thing we didn't have COVID that year, but shortly thereafter we did.
COVID was the best thing that happened toward my business. Everybody wanted to come to the mountains to be outside.
Sure.
So we were busy.
So many businesses were. Mm-hmm. So anything else that you could recommend to somebody that may be thinking, oh, I'd like to open a store or a retail store or a restaurant, that you've learned in your few years of business here in Pagosa Springs, besides the seasonality?
Don't plan on having a life. I'm here 7 days a week. And if you can get a good employee, you do everything you can to keep them.
Great. Yeah, I think that's important. And certainly you've been lucky, and not just lucky, but you have had good employees. And we see that with business owners that take care of their really good employees, that know the business and can do a good job in your absence.
Yeah, most of my employees have been here 6 to 8 years.
That's really commendable for you.
I have a teenager that works in the summers, and she's been here for 2 summers.
That's great.
Other than that.
Well, anything else you'd like to mention about the store, about your story? Anything else you'd like to mention today?
No, I just thank the chamber for the years they did parade of stores and gave me the idea to do my shop to your drop sale.
Great.
In December. And without the chamber's support, we wouldn't be here.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say, and we appreciate it. And yes, we all remember those days of the parade of stores. So it does change, but we're glad that some of the businesses have kept on with various forms of advertising and marketing in the holiday months. So, well, thank you, Jean. Again, made in Colorado, everybody. It's not just for our tourists and our visitors. There are some wonderful, wonderful items here. Wonderful gift giving items, either for someone that may be new to Pagosa Springs, or you want to give a bit of Colorado when you want to send a special gift. They can always find things in those traditional commercial stores, big box stores. So think of the gift of smaller giving. So, and enjoy our local retail stores. And we are here today in Maiden, Colorado. Thank you again, Jean, for joining us. And everybody, we will see you again next week.